How's it going, guys? I'm Oz. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Scenes with Us. The last episode we showed you, well, I showed you how to edit in my heart rate monitor, but I didn't actually show you how I actually edit, you know, with the rest of the stuff, which is basically the brunt of it. The heart rate monitor only shows a small portion of it, and it's obviously not involved in all of my clips. So what we're going to be doing today is the next episode that I'm up to in my editing, which is episode 10 of Uncharted 2. It's a very popular series. You guys are really enjoying it at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I thought it'd be a really fun interactive thing for us to do so you guys can see how I edit. Let's get on with it. So what I simply do is I have my raw footage. Now I'll show you how I lay out my folders. This is really bad, but as you can see, I have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hard drives, something about 13 terabytes of hard drive altogether. I've got more elsewhere, so that's the reason why they're elsewhere. They're chockers. So this is the reason why I hate recording with fraps, because it just takes up so much space, my hard drive. So we've got stuff spaced everywhere at the moment. I've got some clips in one folder with, you know, Uncharted, and because this one was getting really full, I moved on to another one. So Uncharted's just fucking everywhere at the moment, man. It's so bad. And then obviously in here I've got my normal stuff. So this is all my webcam. This is all the series that we've done. Oh my god, we've played a lot of games. I've got some things in there that obviously I haven't started yet. So Car Tours, Shoujo, and then I want to play Fear in the future, all that sort of thing. So we're going to Uncharted 2. So with the actual videos that I record, I've got them in another folder in my videos one, and so when I've, you know, done a whole lot of recording, I cut and paste them into here, and that's the reason why they're here. Okay, so what we do is I simply just drag from the thing, from one folder into Sony Vegas. And so there's lovely me. So we've got 2 clips here because obviously using fraps, it used up so much of my hard drive, and I was trying to defeat this boss guy, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I stopped recording for a bit until I got the general gist of what it wanted me to do, and so once I started recording again, I beat him. I beat him straight away, and as you can see in my face, I was just so fucking proud of it. Oh yeah, no, it was great, it's great. Okay, so just put that there. Okay, so now what we need to do is find the fraps area, so this bit here, and just simply, I wonder if I can just drag it so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So just drag it in. This is great. Okay, so for those of you that are unaware, my first ever series on YouTube was Amnesia. Now you probably would have noticed that Amnesia 1, 2 and 3 were re-uploaded later on. So I think it's up to 3, or did 3 was the first one? I don't know. But I think it might have been at least the first 2 that are re-uploaded later on. I'll probably show you that. If I go Amnesia, the Dark Descent. There you go. So if I go walk through, no, go to the actual playlist, you numpty. Okay, so if I go to number 3, so that was uploaded on the 2nd of Feb 2013, and if I go to the first one, it was uploaded on the 2nd of November 2012. Oh no, that's okay. Okay. Oh no, it must have been number 3 that I re-uploaded. I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore. Okay, so basically what happened is that a friend of mine gifted me a game through Steam for what he called a point-and-click adventure game thingamabob shit. Not a horror game. And he wanted me to play it. And so I was talking to him about it and like how, you know, how do you want me to show it to you? And he's like, just upload it on YouTube. So that's what I did. So when I got to the editing stage, you know, everyone these days is always like, oh, you know, why don't you have it up in the corner? You know, have something like this up in the corner. Oh, hang on, let's zoom it out. You know, this is what everyone wants me to do. Let's put it up there. You know, this is what everyone wants, is something like that. And that's how it started out for me. So here we got the game footage. Oh goodness me, need to turn that down. Okay, do we have the other Uncharted open? Yes we do. What volume do I have it on? Show me number 2. Okay, so decimal 2. Let's just turn it down to that for the time being. There we go. So that's how I started out with Amnesia. And the issue that I had was in the first Amnesia clip, I'm pretty sure it's the first one, there was an instant where the door opened, and you know, like, stuff happened, like little things, like at the beginning of Amnesia, little things were happening, like a bit of dust flew through the air, so you hear this breeze, and the door opened, and then suddenly candles went out, and I got really pissed off because having myself in the corner, you know, no one could actually see what was happening. They were gonna miss out on these little details, and it just frustrated the absolute fuck out of me. So my first clips of Amnesia never had a background or a title, and they sort of looked something like this, where, you know, if I make that a bit bigger and bring this down a bit, oh, that's the reason why, it's because, here we go. If I bring that back to the default, and then just move that there, they sort of looked something like this, where it just wasn't completely even Steven. So if I make that go like that, it looks something like that. And I'm sure, like, if you were a really old subscriber, you would remember it. It was a bit worse than that, where like the height of this one was, you know, it was sort of like that, and this one was a little bit bigger. It just didn't work. And so by the time I got to the third one, I shouldn't have uploaded the first two, but I was so excited for my friends to see it. By the time I got to the third one, I sort of tweaked it a whole lot more and made it look a lot more presentable, because obviously I was getting feedback from my friends saying, look, you really need to make this even, you know. So that's the reason why I stuck with the layout. Now I finally made it, so then I've got a preset for it, so I've tweaked it so much that I've got a preset. And then if I get this one here, just make that face template, and so there we go, Bob's your uncle. So all I need to simply do with this when I go to the face template is just move it left or right. If I make this bigger so you guys can see what I'm doing, zoom in. So all I really need to do is move it, crop it either left or right, so then it's in the center. So all the way, and I normally check it all the way along to make sure, like, I move a lot, I wiggle in my seat a lot, so I gotta make sure that's roughly in the center the whole time. Sometimes it can go veer off to the left a bit, and I could go and edit it more so then it keeps sliding and adjusting, but fuck me, that's a lot of work to do. And so if I can just get the general middle bit, you know, I'm good. And I did the same thing obviously to the right hand side, where it's under Dead Space New, and that's what I do there. So some people have noticed, especially with Mass Effect, how like you know, it might look a bit stretched and stuff like that. That's so then it fills the screen. I mean, not many people pick up on it with all of my Let's Plays, so now that I've pointed it out, you probably like be like, yeah, but you guys are gonna have to get used to it, because it looks clean, and that's what I love about it. And so what happened then was heaps of people, because I was really bad with making titles and stuff like that. Back in the old days, you know, I might have had the name of the series, but that's about it. If I go playlists, and I go to my really old ones. Now, if you guys haven't already, this game Spec Ops, oh my god, it's such a good game, and it's not as well known as what it should be, I think. I think it's just a really awesome storyline, and I think it's just because the game mechanics in general are really bad and clunky. But if we go into... So as you can see, like I've got the title in there, but even still, especially like recently I just changed the Amnesia one, so it actually says The Dark Descent, but the actual titles, all they ever had was Amnesia on it. I've gone through and tidied it all up. I'm going through this process of tidying it all up. So that's where the title came in, because heaps of my friends were like, oh, what's this game called, when I first uploaded it, because the first one didn't have a title. So I was like, right, well, to eliminate me having to explain myself over and over again, what I'm going to do is add a title. So I've got this default. Now, back in the day, and you guys have probably seen, I used to have this weird, wacky writing, like, what was it? Something like, not like that, but I can't even remember what it's called now. Something, not wingdings, but, oh, definitely not that. But, you know, you guys remember it. You guys remember it. It might even be on here. Hang on. Here we go. Let's go into my first episode of Amnesia with the old clip that I'm not going to show you. But you can see just there that I had this weird, wacky writing, and I loved it. I thought it was really cool. It reminded me of when I was in primary school, how you just had this outrageous writing. And that's what it reminded people of. They're like, oh, it reminds me of high school, get rid of it. So I did, and I ended up cleaning up my act, and this is what I do now. So we're going to do this where, I think I'll use outline, the black outline. So we've got Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. And so this is, you know, it just helps people out. In case I get lazy with my titles. I'm trying to be better at that. So here I've got a preset where, again, track motion. I can put it on heading, and normally all I have to do is just move it across, maybe a bit up, you know, all that sort of jazz. And it's nice. And you know, what I found is when I'm doing my montages, is that the name of it is on the montage. So if I have a really good jump scare, or I'm really crying my eyes out, the person can just pause and go, hey, that's from that, I need to go through that playlist, and this is what I can do now. Next bit is that the background, you know, the background, it doesn't look very clean there, you know, and I wanted something to give a bit more of a feel. It plays with your mind. You don't actually realize what it does, but it sets the tone for what, you know, is happening. So like with my Amnesia clip, I had this bit here, this background here, and it just sets this tone of like redness, you know, like I don't know what I'm going with it. It takes a lot of time for me to work out what the background is, and I wasn't happy with the whole feel of Uncharted 1, you know, with just the blue textured background. You guys probably remember it. I think I might have actually deleted it out of my thing because I didn't need it anymore, and I didn't like it. It wasn't quite what I was after. And then I thought, I don't know, Parchment, you know, what about Parchment? That sort of gets, you know, he's like going through, looking through books and all that sort of thing, and I just think it gives it that more of a feel. It's like with Skyrim, for example. I've got this one here. That one's really cool. I love that. You guys remember this from the PT demo that you guys saw, unfortunately. I just loved because all you ever see is the edgings, and it sets that tone. It's very subtle. It's very cool. So all that sort of thing, and this is what I had for Heavy Rain. So you know, that's how I choose my clips. You know, it's got to give some sort of feel. And oh my god, this computer better not be freezing on me. I swear to God. Okay, so let's put in the Parchment. So all I'm going to simply do is, again, yes, just put it in through like that. And so often you get this black line thing, so it's got to stretch out to make it look cool. So stretching it out, there we go. And I love that look. I love that look. So that's how I do that. I normally have a way of doing things where I have my webcam first, then obviously webcam audio, then the Uncharted, well, whatever clip I have next. So it could be Alice, it could be Bioshock, whatever. Title needs to be above this one, because obviously if the Parchment's above, then the title disappears. So that's how I do that. Now, what normally happens when I use my PS3, so any game that I've used, so well, what is it called? Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Journey. Because I'm recording with Fraps, what happens is Fraps makes it a lot darker. You can see how dark that is. It's really dark, the actual footage. So I have to always go in and tweak it a bit more. And to do that, I just go into the Video FX and I go brightness and contrast. Okay, and I have a way of doing it with Uncharted. It's pretty much universal with all of them. Each one needs a little bit of tweaking, but the brightness, I normally put it up to 0.100, and then the contrast, go 43, because it just looks a bit bright and fake, and it just adds a bit more color to it. And so you can see like the before and after, it just looks so much better. So there's that, or, oop, no, not that. Look at my face there. I was so stoked. Yes. Let's just edit that bit there to face template. Okay. So you can see how dark it is there. So Dead Space New. There we go. See dark there, and how it looks here instead. It just looks so much better. So much better. Just little tweakings like that. The next thing is, what would be next? I guess we're getting to the point now of where we need to sync it up, because obviously I'm playing along. Let's play a bit of the clip so then you guys can see. Oh, this is down to the last bit. Oh crap. So where's the moment where I don't? Oh crap, I was supposed to press triangle and I couldn't tell that I was supposed to press triangle. Oh bugger. See, so I die and then I react. So obviously it's out of sync now. To put it more in sync. Now it's really important because people can pick up if it's a couple of milliseconds out. It gets on them. So points that I look for normally is change of light on my face. So where's a good point? So here's oh god, I love my face sometimes. I normally start at the beginning. At the beginning, here we go. I normally go listen out for the click of the button. So let's just listen to me. Of aiming and firing. It just makes more sense. The other thing is that obviously the shinies, shinies fucking over. We're not getting as many as what we were. I know one guy, there's like 101 of them or 100 of them. One guy only got 35, and that's probably because I'm only looking at the ground. Apparently they're like positioned in certain areas, like up high and all that sort of thing. So we're gonna have a closer look. I don't know if there's actually any on the train station, because if there is, I'm not finding them. Righto, so with a lovely cup of green tea. Oh god, that's a good cup. Let's continue. Last episode, obviously we got... That sounded about right, because you can hear the click in the background. Just very subtly, you gotta really listen out for it. I can probably move it across a little bit more. Last episode, obviously we got into the oh, it's this guy again. It's gonna be... No, fuck you. Okay, crap. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Ah, here we go. This is a perfect example. Okay, so normally I look out for the grenade, so I put that out of sync. So, as you can see here, when we get to it, you see with my face how the light's gonna change any minute now. Oop, no, if I gotta put it there. See how the light changes and then it goes dark again? So I know that something's happened there, so I have to just move it across a bit, and this is where it is. So that's the explosion just there. You can see it just there. Okay, so what I normally look out for is the first point of which it changes light. So that's dark, and then that's the first point. So what I do then is just zoom in a little closer and just wait until the first point is on the clip. So that's probably that bit there. And if I play it back, I should have it pretty much spot on. So you can see how it just changes all like that, and perfect. So, oh, this is gonna be bad. And that's probably all there is to it. And then all I have to do is at the edges, I put it on the snap locking. So you've got this overview here that just lets you do whatever. Snap locking lets you snap into certain points. So there, and be able to put it together like that. It's lovely. So I use that a lot. And turn the volume back on. And move it all to the beginning. So at the beginning you probably notice that I have like a sort of like a fade in. So all I do to simply do that is I hold down control and just click all the video motion clips, and just there's this little button thing here. Make it little arrow. Just hold on to that until you get that half semicircle thing, and there you go. So that gives us that lovely fade in. The other bit I do to do the spit and polish of it all is go the track motion, and you notice that I have like this grey outline. It just makes it look a lot cleaner. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm just so used to using it. I think I just prefer it because it sort of separates the clip from me. So it's just a 2D glow, and I just make the blur 3, the intensity 3, and then I change it to silver. Simple as pie. Same again for the video clip. Simple as pie. And that's all there really is to it. I mean, some things it's a lot harder to edit. I get troubles, and if I want to get creative, then yeah, it involves more time, but that's what really happens. Save it. So I gotta save it into Uncharted 2. And then I'll just go part 10 for the time being. I'll rename it something else. And then yeah, rendering. So I normally render it. What happens first though is, this is part 10, so I normally try and find, obviously at the end of my clips I have like this little snippet of what happens in the next episode, so I normally find something exciting. How that happens is, say this is a really exciting part, even though it's not. I use this thing here, which is, I don't know what it's actually technically called, but either way, I just hold the mouse down and it just picks out this part. So I go file and then I render, and I normally render in just a 720p because it is really quick, and go render loop region only. So wait for that to happen. And that provides me with my snippet for the next episode. And there, done. Open. Crap. Oh. If I turn that down, that's probably really loud for you guys. Oh, come on. It takes a while for it to load up. And as you see, it's pretty dark because I'm using the second bit, which I haven't done the brightness or contrast, so... And it'd be out of sync as well. So that gives you an idea of what that is. But what I actually render in, and maybe you guys can help me in a way, because if I go customize template, this is my settings. So I use WMV format, and if I go video, these are my bit rates and all this little thing. Is there some way that, you know, I can get this better? Because what do you guys normally use? Because it takes me, it just depends. If I have 2 clips rendering at once, it can take about 5 hours, and normally I have 5 clips rendering at once while I'm at work. But even when it's only 1 clip by itself, it can take up to 3.5 hours at least to render in this format just for a 30-minute clip, and it's so fucking frustrating because 720p with the MP4 renders within 20-30 minutes, pretty much 1 for 1. However, by the time it gets to the end of the clip, it goes completely out of sync, so the game footage just goes completely out of sync and my voice goes out of sync. It's just terrible. So I just default to this one all the time, but I'm sure there'd be a quicker way. I'm sure there's a quicker way of doing it because it just takes so fucking long and I hate it. That's pretty much it for the time being, guys. The rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just cleaning it all up. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope you understand the reason why I do the face template. I'm beginning to realize that it's just not the norm on YouTube, that some people just can't get used to it, but I hope you can see the reason why I do it. I just think it makes so much more sense when people were saying, oh, why don't you do it this way? Well, I did try to do it that way, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that we would miss out on so much stuff because, yeah, no. And by the time you get it on full screen, if I move the full screen, oh, why doesn't it want to do it here? Right, by the time it gets full screen, I mean, there's a lot of footage there that you can see. I mean, put this on full screen now if you haven't already. There's still a heap of game footage that you can see, and you see all of it. So I'm sticking to it. If you still don't like it, then tough titties, because I'm keeping it like this. I think this makes far more sense. And even when it comes to my streaming, I do the exact same thing. It just makes far more sense. Okay guys, like, favorite, subscribe. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, share it with your friends. I don't know. I think it's really cool so that you guys can see what I do behind the scenes. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you guys. Bye.